Okay, so now that we have created a solid understanding of the requirements document and a solid understanding of the necessary decisions, we figured out a sketch of the worksheet. The next step is to use Excel to create the worksheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by opening up Microsoft Excel if you haven't done so already. We're going to go ahead and go to File, Save As, Browse, and of course I'm going to save to the desktop because I am at home. If you're at school, please save to the R2D2 folder. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Okay, create a new folder called Module 3, and inside that folder we are going to name this worksheet as Caitlin's ice cream shop financial projection, and then underscore, and then your name, not mine. Okay, now let's get started. Just gotta find where I'm going here. Okay, so in cell A1, we're gonna go ahead and start the title. It's gonna be Caitlin. Oh wow, I can't type today already. Caitlin's ice cream shop in A1. A2 would be 6-month financial projection. And remember, we don't have anything in these empty cells, so this just goes ahead and overlaps those empty cells. Now, we're going to apply the Savon theme, and I sincerely hope I have that theme on my worksheet. So we're going to go to the page layout right here, themes, and then we're going to scroll. Oh, Savon. I don't think I've actually seen that one before. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to rotate text and use the fill handle to create a series. So the design of the worksheet will specifically call for data for the first 6 months of the selling season. Because there will always be only 6 months of data in the worksheet, we're going to place the month across the top of the worksheet as column headings rather than row headings, because there's only going to be 6 of them because of the 6-month projection. So we are going to go ahead and select B3 right here, and we are going to type January. Okay, and then we're going to press the enter button. Now, we're going to be rotating this text here. So go ahead and select B3, and then we are going to go to the Home tab if you haven't done so already, and we're going to look for the alignment group, and then click the dialog box launcher. Our dialog box launcher is called the Format Cells window here, and we are going to go ahead and drag this to 60 degrees, or you could just type in 60 degrees here and that would be fine. Alright, so 60 degrees, and then press OK. So what this does is it will go ahead and rotate this text 60 degrees. Again, it just looks nice, I guess. Now we're going to drag the fill handle to drag all the way till June. Okay. Notice we didn't do it all the way through December because it's a 6-month projection, January through June. So we went ahead and filled that across. Now, when we did the autofill, you'll notice that this box came up here. Now, this is just by default, this is what happens, but if I didn't want to do that, I could click here. If I wanted to copy cells, it would just fill January 6 times. Fill series, the series is the monthly series, so January through June. Fill formatting only would just fill the actual formatting, like the alignment, the font, all that stuff. Fill without formatting would be filling it without, obviously, this, and then just fill months. So we did fill series, but those are the different options in case you did it automatically and weren't sure what to do. So in Module 2, you increase column widths after the values were entered in the worksheet, but sometimes you're just going to want to put the change the column widths before we start doing the data. So we're going to move the pointer to the boundary between column A and column B. And we're going to drag it to 38 because this is going to be a big cell. So 38. Okay, good. 38. Now we're going to click on column heading B. And then we're going to drag all the way to G here. And then we are going to go between B and C here. We're going to drag to 14.5. Oops, come on. There you go. And notice, since we selected all of them, they changed to the same value here. So now we're going to release the mouse button. Or actually, I'm sorry, I already did that. Now we're going to go to column H. And we are going to increase the width of column H to 18. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start entering our row titles here. So in A4, we're going to type in revenue. Okay. Then in A5, cost of goods sold. A6, gross margin. And now we're going to separate by cell because we have our revenue here, or what's coming through, our profits. And we've got our expenses. Now A9, we have bonus. A10, commission. Site rental. Marketing, equipment repair and maintenance, total expenses, and again we're going to break here and do operating income. Now we're going to use some indenting so we can separate these and make them kind of like headings. Like for example, I kind of want to have these two as headings, and that's a heading, and that's a heading. Instead of using the heading style, we're going to just use the indenting here. So for A5, we're going to increase indent once. So it kind of pushes it over. Okay. And then we're going to select A9 here through A13. And we're going to go ahead and press it again. So that gives us a little bit of separation there. Now, we're going to then copy a range of cells to a non-adjacent destination area. So non-adjacent means it's not anywhere near or not next to that area. So with A18 selected, we're going to type in what if assumptions. And we're not going to really be doing much with this area right now other than creating our row titles. This will be later, where we're kind of going to mess around with this and do the cool stuff. So we're going to select A9 through A13, and we're going to copy, and then we're going to select A19 and paste. Okay, so that is what we did for that. And then when we copied, you'll see the dancing ants here. If you just press escape on your keyboard, it will go ahead and get rid of that. That's also called a marquee, by the way. I call it the dancing ants because that just sounds more fun. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and insert a row. We're going to have two rows inserted in the what if assumptions table, one above bonus for the margin assumption, and another between bonus and commission. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select A20 here, the row, and we did that by selecting 20 here. And then we're going to right click, insert, and that will insert a new row for us. The other way we could do this is we went up here to insert, I'm sorry, where'd it go? I must not be seeing it. Anyway, right click and insert. That's normally what I do. Okay. Oh, my bad. Actually, it was in the home tab. It used to be up in here. a couple versions of Office ago. So what you could do, my bad, is you can go to Insert, and then you can insert sheet rows. That's what I was looking for. Okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. Please forgive me. Okay, so we're going to go to Insert, Sheet Rows, 820, type in sales, revenue for a bonus. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about when Microsoft versions get changed, is they do change where things are sometimes, and I have to kind of train myself every couple of years. Alright, now we're going to right click heading 19, and again we're going to go to Insert, and under the insert options here, we are going to format the same as below. And then we're going to go ahead and type margin. Now what you didn't notice, okay, is if we didn't do that, we would have had it to where it was not indented. Again, we could have just indented it one more time, but that's just another way you could just continue formatting. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and press save right here. Okay. Alright, so in our next video, I'm going to go ahead and insert some values in the worksheet.